everybody. Captain Tommy Scoville. This here is the lifeboat. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. I can't complain. So today, people, this is a good one, man. This ought to get a couple of people bummed out, right? For sure. There are people out there that absolutely love multi-level marketing or network marketing. There are other people out there who believe it to be very cult-like in a lot of ways. And on top of that, it has also got a group of people out there like 12-step program for network marketers. There is a MLM Anonymous. There is a place that you can go where, woohoo, Mary Huffman, good to have you on live. There is a place that you can go. And the whole network marketing thing, people, this is a an industry that is a behemoth, right? This is a massive industry. For some of you, you may not have heard of this stuff before. So we're going to give you a brief overview of what it is before we get into why there is so much controversy and why the internet has amplified this controversy in a really, really big way. And it's caused us to talk about this form of marketing on the lifeboat. All right. So you can go back to the last century in the early 20s. And this industry was spawned in California, by all accounts. The first two really big companies that started this concept of direct sales or multi-level marketing or network marketing or any of the terms that people use. But what this was an opportunity for a business, instead of selling to 7-Eleven or other retailers who will then retail their products, they gave people, everyday individuals, an opportunity to sell products directly from the company. They would buy the products from the company, they would sell them, they would get a commission. They could also get other people into the business of selling product. And every time that person makes a sale, you get a commission as well. The trouble became very early on that the money was all in the recruiting of the individual to bring them into the game. It was not in selling product. And very often, the product just justified a money pyramid, a straight money pyramid, right? So with MLM, the reason that this is legal versus, because people always say, well, that's a pyramid scheme. Well, technically, no. A pyramid scheme technically does not have a product. The product in a pyramid scheme is money. And every single person who comes in has to bring $250 or $500. Now you go find 4 people with $500 and that moves you one rung up, right? And as all of this goes up, eventually you end up at the top of the pyramid. All that money's yours. Problem is, the last guys that get to the party get stuck with the bill, because unless you continually get new people in, a pyramid, I'm just talking about a cash pyramid, right? Burns the last people that get involved, very much like a Ponzi scheme. Whenever the product is money, you have to take the money from the people coming in to pay off, right? The commissions. It's never going to work, right? This never, ever works. So in the early 20s, the California Vitamin Company, which would later become Neutralite, the California Vitamin Company started this pretty effectively. Right about the same time came out the California Perfume Company, which would later be known as Avon, which has been, of course, a massive, massive successful network marketing company. But the one that really is probably the most famous of all was the DeVos family in Michigan, who started a little company called Amway, which to this day, I still believe is the largest privately held company on earth. When you drive by this place, the first time I drove by, I said, why the hell do I have to go another 2 hours to an airport? Right? There's an airport right here. And they were like, no, that's Amway. This place had, I'm not exaggerating, 5 runways. I mean, this thing was absolutely massive, right? There were planes flying in and out. It looked just like an airport. I was like, maybe it was 4 runways. There was a lot of action going in and out of this place. I said, you got to be kidding me. But see, network marketing, multi-level marketing is all over the world. Now, here's the deal with this. It has been called, recently especially, and a lot of books out there on the subject, it has been called financial cult. right? This is a form of financial cult. And when you start to look at, yes, Martha nailed it. Martha nailed it. I mean, absolutely nailed it. Scientology is an MLM with a tax exempt status. It absolutely is. You buy your way through the program, very much like happens in a multi-level setup, except in Scientology, all of the money goes to the top, right? I mean, there are people who are getting commissions along the way for bringing people in. It is a bizarre system. But the funny thing is, people that gravitate to, hey, Tampa Bay, people that gravitate toward this, very often you run into a lot of Scientologists in this community. It is how I met them, right? Ron and I knew the same people. And I've mentioned that on here many times, right? That it was really a trip when we met each other, because I knew, some of the same people that he knew, some of the people he was actually really close friends with. But I knew them from a completely different mindset, a different cult, so to speak. Because there is, if you've ever been to one of these meetings, right? And I don't mean like somebody has a meeting in their house and they're trying to sell you Tupperware. It's not what I'm referring to, right? Or they're trying to sell you Avon. Or even a business opportunity meeting where you have 8 or 9 friends that come together and somebody pitches you on an idea. That's probably happened to you in life. But what I'm talking about is when one of these corporations, one of these companies puts on an ether party, right? When they put on one of their big black diamond events, or their double purple, triple black diamond, whatever, there's always a name for every level that you achieve on the way through. So how this works is pretty simple. In order to get involved, you have to buy a distributorship. Some groups call it a license. Some people call it a distributorship. Some people call it whatever. But it's a contract that enables you to sell for this company. And it also enables you to buy product at wholesale, or that's the pitch. So the idea is always they're going to push whatever the product is down your throat. They're going to talk you into trying this because it cures cancer, falling arches, impotence, makes your hair grow, whatever the flavor of the month is. I would be very, very nervous in the very near future. I'd be shocked as hell if we do not see a weight loss product very much like Ozempic. Joe Birdwell, holy hell. Wow. Good to see you, my brother. I'm well. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you on the deck of the boat, man. Really, really good to see you. Yes, good old Amway. People normally trick you, right? They invite you to a party. They do not tell you you're going to get pitched on Amway. It's one of the most popular icebreakers as a public speaker, right? If you want to go out on stage, excellent, Joe. If you want to go out on stage and get a laugh, the first thing you do is you walk out on stage and you say, all right, listen, my name is so-and-so, right? Do me a favor and raise your hand if this is the first time you've ever been to an Amway presentation. And, I would get 25 people that would stand up and start walking to the back of the room, and you'd have to go, whoa, I'm kidding. No, that's not what we're doing, because there are so many people. Anybody that's ever sold a car, yes, get Ozempic off the pharmacy shelves. This is honestly a really serious point. It is just a matter of time, people, before we see this product. Man, I never get them right, let's say. Ozempic right now, this is a product that people are given in a pre-injectable pen. It is used for the treatment of diabetes. People are using this as a weight loss product. If you have not heard of this, you're going to. This is not an easy way to lose weight. This is a dangerous way to lose weight, right? Please hear this. If you think this is a get out of jail free or one of the, and you're going to see a bunch of marketing in the very near future that is going to be marketing this stuff as a weight loss dream. I would be very cautious. I'm not a doctor, but I would not play around. Weightlifters are doing the same thing. They're using insulin as a way to bulk up. It's a dangerous, dangerous thing. Now, let me get back to MLMs. Because I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time before we see a product like this Ozempic stuff. Because they love weight loss. They love anything where the margins are huge. Let me explain this concept. We make that a really small price, $15, $19.95, $50 on some of the bigger end ones or whatever. That gets you a distributorship. It doesn't get you any product. And very often the guy's going to say to you, like, if you went to Burger King and you said to him, hey, I'd like a Big Mac, and they said, I don't have a Big Mac, I can show you a picture of it. right? I can order one for you, have it here in 2 weeks, right? These are the kind of pitches that you give the people below you so that they buy product to have on hand so that they can sell it. What you're really doing is a term called front loading. And it's encouraged among people that do this for a living. If you're going to make money, you got to get the people underneath you to buy things. And front loading was one of the ways that you did it. And you do it ideally from a stage. You tell people, look, you want to make some money. What you're going to do is you're going to get some of this product before you leave, right? If you believe in this stuff enough to get involved, why would you not believe in enough to carry inventory? Awful. God forgive me. But I did it. And I did a number of these network marketing companies. And I'm not in the percentage of people on the planet that lost their butts on network marketing. I made money in it, but nobody else did. I mean, keeping it real, nobody else did. A couple of times I felt bad enough about people who got in on the very first one that I did, that I kind of dragged them along on the second one as partners. But in all honesty, I wasn't, I'll give you an idea, right? So part of every network marketing company is that as a distributor, I got to a point, no lie, in the first one that I did where our huge weekly checks were over $20,000 a week. We had weekly and monthly checks. We were making ridiculous money. However, every single month I had to do $2,000 in what they call PV, personal volume, which means personally, I had to sell $2,000 worth of product, which should sound really easy, but I don't sell product. I go around the country and I sell the dream of making money. I don't sell anybody any of the products. All I'm doing is selling people on the dream, right? And I'm selling a lot of people on the dream. And the bigger your check gets, the more your personal volume has to be. So I've got a fat check coming, but I got to do $2,000 in personal volume to get that check. Now I'm literally throwing boxes full of vitamins into dumpsters around town. And $2,000 worth is so much of this crap that you need like 3 dumpsters, right? But this is what I was doing to justify the check of just going out and selling the pipe dream. Now, do people get wealthy off of network marketing? You bet. There are people that get insanely wealthy off network marketing. There are people that are worth $150 million, $200 million from that industry. But I've been around it. I've helped design pay plans for the industry. I've done a lot. I've helped get them off the ground. I've had a lot to do with a bunch of them. I was in the industry for a while. It's a crap industry. It really is. It drew people. Sorry. And I don't mean the people that buy the distributorships, because in all honesty, they target housewives. That's the number one target of network marketers is housewives. Because normally they have time on their hands, that being the theory, and they would like to bring in a little extra money, and it's more social, right? That's the idea. That's the pitch. It's what they bring you in with for real. Because ideally, right, like any kind of a cult, they call this a financial cult for a reason, because there really is that cult-like thing, right? There are slogans that everyone is saying, right? Everybody that's part of any one of these deals, there are slogans. And like I said, if you ever get a chance and they bring you out and you go to one of the events, they bring stars right to these events. Like Tony Robbins, I saw him do a 2.5-hour show for the American Communication Network. Right now, by the time I had gone to this ACN pitch, I sat there with my friends and partners and said, "We're walking in to check this out, right? We're not there's no chance in us doing this opportunity. Like we already knew what the industry was." We had made money in other companies, but they're all basically the same thing. I promise you, because I got to the top of every company we ever got in, and it was the same crap every single time, right? You know, they change the pay plan on you, so your check gets smaller. But by that point, you're making so much money, you're not going to leave, right? They've got you, and you're working 7 days a week, 365 days a year, because every single one of these has a mission involved that you're saving the world. You're saving people, you're helping people, and you really get caught up in it. It's very cult-like. It really is. And the people you hang out with are all in it, right? And you're going from meeting to meeting, and people are calling me and saying, "I'd like you to talk to this individual for me." I'm helping people close deals, and it really became cult-like. I mean, it really did. And it got to a point where the people in my house were all people from this deal. And by the way, at the time, none of this seemed odd. In fact, it didn't even seem odd until today when I started to deep dive. And I said to my brother, "Hey, did you ever get cult, the stuff that we did with MLM? And he was like, are you kidding me? He's like, you went to some of those like super, the ether parties, like we used to call them, for real, because there's light shows and there's cannons firing out confetti, and Tony Robbins comes out, and he's rocking and pounding, and the bass is coming in at 130 decibels. And I swear to God, knowing what the hustle was, I bought in, right? I made money. I did it. But it was just another one of the same deals. This is the problem, people. Because of the fact that you pay out on different levels, this is me, and I bring somebody in right below me, right? That person can keep bringing people in. Well, you get paid very often about 6 levels deep. Keep in mind, there's a terminology for all this, just like there is in every other cult, right? So the standard plan would be called a stair-step breakaway. And in a stair-step breakaway, you picture it looking exactly like a stair, right? And you go 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get down to about the 6th level, you're no longer making any money. Below the 6th level, whatever happens, which is where the huge money is, right? Because obviously, if in theory, 2 get 2, who get 2, who get 2, your 12th level is going to be ludicrous. We're going to be where all of your people are, but you're not going to make any money on that. And unless your personal volume gets large enough. And then you get a bonus to infinity. And that bonus might be a 0.5 percentage point or a percentage point. But for those guys at the top, that's all the money. That 1% on those lower levels are where they're making their millions. So whatever they set that personal volume at, whatever they change it to every 6 months, if it becomes 50,000 a month in personal volume to get your $1 million a month check, you're going to just blow the 50 grand and you're going to fill a lot more dumpsters than I did. But I mean, or giving away product or flushing product down the toilet, because in all honesty, the product justifies the entire pyramid scheme. And the problem becomes that if you have to pay out 6 levels deep and then to infinity, maybe a couple of pennies on every sale. Okay. So you got a jar of whatever the product is. Let's say it's 16 ounces of this magic fruit that they found on some island, because very often it is the magic fruit that they found on some island, right? Noni juice, Melaleuca juice. So all these juice products, but you're getting 16 ounces of it, and they're got to sell this for like 30 to 50 bucks for a 16 ounce bottle of this stuff, because you got to be able to have enough money in the product to pay out all of those levels, right? Oh, sorry. You got to have enough cash in there to pay out all those levels. And the only way to do that is to charge way more money than the product is worth. Now, I'm not saying there aren't good products in there, because there are some great products in network marketing. But the problem is they're going to be so much more money than they need to be, because you've got to pay out a lot of levels of depth, right? And in order to make it so that a couple of people can get wealthy, you got to have a pay plan that pays out, right? There's got to be enough money in there to make it worthwhile. So you got to overcharge for products that if you went down to General Nutrition Center, you could probably buy the same thing for 20 bucks, 15 bucks. It's got to be 100. And on a network marketing company, anything that you can buy at GNC has got to be marked up at least 6 or 7 times, right? 6 or 700%, if not 1,000%, because you just have to have the money. It's a money thing, and the product, whatever the money thing is. So you're looking at very, very expensive products. And the way that they end up selling them is they say to you, when you get signed up, now you're in, right? And they love bomb you. Same term you hear in cults. They love bomb the hell out of you. Everybody starts calling, man, great decision. Good for you, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to slay this. There's a couple of books you probably ought to read. They start getting you into some, reading some stuff that is basically going to make you bulletproof. You're going to read a couple of things so that when somebody says to you, hey, man, that's a pyramid scheme, you've got the bulletproof answer for them, right? Anything somebody says, you've got ammunition ready to go. Just like what? A cult, right? Very, very similar stuff, truthfully. And what they tell you to do is the first thing you do when you get signed up is make a list of your warm market. Your warm market, right? So your warm market is the list of all of your family and friends. So make a list, and you're going to go over it with the person who signed you up. Honestly, I never did this. I never got this far with anybody. I signed up and I left. I know that that's crappy, but I really was turning and burning. At least I wasn't trying to milk it too much. Everything I did from the stage. I wasn't trying to do a lot of one-on-one things. But this concept of sucking people in and getting them then to hit every family member and every friend that they have, and they give the people a script. Hey, can you please just do me a favor? I'm brand new in this business. Can you help me out? Can you buy a couple of items? That's what they send you begging to your family and friends. And the running joke is that the warm market gets to be a cold market really quickly, especially for people who do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 network marketing companies in a row. We've got friends like the people that we were talking about, AA Run, our mutual friend is still doing the exact same thing that he was doing when I met him. I can't even tell you how long ago. Well, my son was 2 or 3, so 29 years ago. And that's still what they're doing because it makes sense to them, right? But the idea is you go out and you sign up as many people as you possibly can. And in order to continue to make money, you got to keep signing people up. And I don't care what they tell you about mailbox money and all of that. You have to keep working. And it ends up destroying families. Honestly, it really slinging soap. Oh, it was a little nod, tip of the hat to our friend, the Scientologist network marketer. And here's the thing, people. Absolutely, you can make money in it. I'm not going to lie to you. I could go get in one tomorrow and I could probably make money because I don't mind jumping up in front of a room of people, right, to sell. But the average person isn't going to do that. They can get caught up in the adrenaline, and it's best if there's a room of, 150 people or 200 people because the buying frenzy, everyone goes, no, this is fantastic. See, they talk about that product, but then they get a cutthroat guy that goes up there and he talks to you about what it means to be an entrepreneur. You see, an entrepreneur is one who assumes the risks of business to achieve the gains. If I asked you to make a list of all the things you want in life and write them down right now, right? Those are the gains. You want to live in a better neighborhood. You want to have a better house. You want to drive a better car. You want your kids to live in a nicer place or go to better schools, right? Those are all the gains. An entrepreneur assumes risks in order to get that, right? That's the pitch. And you get people, on this idea that there's something wrong with working for a living, something wrong with having a job. In fact, JOB is an acronym, right? JOB stands for just over broke. These are the pitches that you hear, right? Until they really get you to a point where you start to believe that if you're not working for yourself, if you're not out doing it on your own, then there's something. And then they convince you that any single person from any walk of life, all you need is the desire to do this, and you can be successful. I'm here to tell you it takes a hell of a lot more than the desire to do it in order to be successful. In all of the time that I did it, and I enrolled, I cannot begin to tell you in my life the number of people that I enrolled in. I mean, I did it like a job. You know what I mean? It was not a hobby. I tried to sign up 5 to 10 people a day. Like that's what I tried to do every day. And we had lead generation systems, and we had, ways to fill hotel rooms and go in and pitch entire, convention center rooms full, 150, 250 people. We weren't one time in it, as the movie reference goes. We weren't one time in it, but everybody else was. There's a network marketing company called Prepaid Legal. And we flew out to see that company. We sat in the president's office and we told him what we were going to do. We said, what is the record for the most number of signups you've ever had in a month? And I can't remember what he said, 45 or something. Right? And we said, we're going to do that the first day we joined this company. We're going to do 100, 150 a day. Right? Are you cool with that? I don't want to implode the company because we've done this. Because we had the ability. We were going around the country anyway, going to hotel rooms anyway. This is what we did for a living. So we would just sneak this in after the last show hey, if you guys want to stick around, there's a brand new thing that you can hear about. We already got a room full of 250, sometimes 450 people to pitch on a deal now that they're only going to cost them $15, right? To get the cheesy license. And then, of course, someone's going to call them and try to get them to buy the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But I mean, we weren't doing it like other people. And they said, of course, yeah, I don't care how many people you put in. Our goal is that you could put in, I mean, if you could do 1,000 a day, go do 1,000 a day. We did 490 in the first week, and they pulled the plug. They instantly pulled the plug and said, how are you doing this? We said, what do you mean, how are we doing it? They're like, well, how are you coming up with all of these sales? We were like, we're calling people on the telephone, and then we're explaining to them what this deal is, and then, taking their credit card right over the phone and just being done. And he said, the two of you? We said, good God, no. We've got an entire telemarketing room dialing the phone, right? We've got a team right now. It's only 16 guys, but we're hoping to have it 80 to 100 guys here pretty shortly. And they went, oh, no. And their excuse was that they prepay commissions, right? In other words, because it is insurance, like most insurance, they know your person's going to be making a monthly payment, a monthly policy payment. So they pay you 12 months commission all at once. And they were afraid that we were going to put in, this is what they told us. They were afraid we were going to put in so many people and then that they would all bail. So we said, don't trip. Don't pay us all up front. Just pay us every month when they pay you. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, belly to belly. That was the next line of crap that came out of their mouth. No. We only allow this to be done belly to belly. I said, when we sat in your office and said we were going to do 100 people a day, you thought we were doing that belly to belly? No, they knew what we were doing. But they're going to take advantage of the distributor. And it's what all the companies do. Every one of those companies. It's the law, the timeshare bait and switch. We never intended to buy. Mary Huffman, this is a absolute, the techniques used to sell somebody a timeshare are the exact same techniques used to sell somebody in business opportunity, which is also a euphemism for network marketing or for direct sales or for multi-level marketing. They will dance around in circles to not say multi-level marketing. Because if you Google multi-level marketing, you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff that's telling you about it's cult-like, right? They'll call it a financial cult. There's going to be a lot of dirt on the multi-level marketing. So companies do not want to call themselves that, right? They come up with a bunch of other names. And for a long time, direct sales was the one that people like to hide under because it does sound a hell of a lot better, right? What do you do? Well, I'm in direct sales, right? It sounds a lot better than network marketing. A lot of people will just say, I own my own business. And in all honesty, it's a difficult thing to say you own your own business. An opportunity to own your own business, right? But you don't have any control over the business. In fact, at any time, they can cancel your product out. They can double the price of your product. They can change your pay plan. They can do all of this stuff. And every bit of it's been done to me. I promise you, every bit of it. And more often than not, like we had one company where it was a laundry disc. It was a thing that you never had to buy laundry soap ever again. If you're old enough, you remember these laundry balls, laundry discs, whatever. But we were selling this going around, and they had an incredible pay plan and this ridiculous thing set up, and we imploded them. I mean, we personally imploded them. That company could not handle. We found out down the road that when they first opened, they were honestly handwriting out the sheet. Like they couldn't afford the software yet, but they were just building at a nice enough slow rate. They were going to buy it. And we got a hold of them, and there were 7 teams of speakers out on the road. And we put in so many brand new distributors in such a short period of time that they couldn't even fill out the apps. And just straight imploded. And the first company I ever did that happened. They imploded. And we were making money hand over fist in that one. And they imploded. They decided to spin out a second division, and they made the most ridiculous promises in the world. And every single person was allowed to bring in 10 people to the new deal. And it just exploded. I went out to California. They were based in Valencia, and I went out there to find out what the hell was going on with my money. because we went from making, no lie, 60, 70 grand a month to $1,200 a month. And we went out there. I was like, I wanted to know what the hell was going on. And we went in, and between every cubicle on every flat area on the ground were applications. This is in the days of fax machines. These were paper applications that had been faxed in that needed to be hand entered into a computer. And I looked around and just went, good Lord. I said, how are you going to get all of this entered? And he goes, yeah, there's no chance. I said, no, but I'm serious. How are you going to do it? He goes, oh, no, I'm serious. There's no chance. We're done. And I remember it was like getting kicked in the stomach because I bought into all of it, right? And here's the craziest part. I was making ridiculous money, right? But I wanted to make just a little bit more, and it had nothing to do with money. It was for this little gold-plated, stupid pin that had 3 diamond chips in it. If I had to go out on a limb, I would say that thing was probably worth $3, right? Maybe 2. But boy, men will die for ribbons. I wanted so bad to be in that top echelon club. I didn't go to sleep. I worked around the clock. I really did. And I was in this scam scheme that, no joke, this is how it worked. Whatever you were going to be at on this pay pyramid, you were going to figure out in your first, after the first 10 days, whether you were a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, that was it. You never had another chance. But if you managed to get to the top in that first period of time, it basically a $20,000 paycheck. So I was in a place in my life where I needed that $20,000 paycheck, and I literally had no option. I'm not kidding you, people. This used to be part of the pitch when I would tell people about it. But my ex-wife gave me the rent money and said, go pay the rent. And I caught the kid on the way with the magic beans. Like, I'm not even being funny. I was on the way to get a money order when my friend said, dude, you got to check this out. It's about the internet. You got to see this. And he brought me over to a guy's house, and we plugged this thing in, and I looked at it, and I was watching the internet through a television set. And I said, I will crush this, right? I can sell this. He said to me, I've sold 3 of them. I'm like, in how long? He goes, 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks? Dude, I'll sell 3 of these in the next half hour. Like, give me this one. Let me go to work. And he wouldn't. I wanted it so bad that when you signed up, it took 5 days for you to get your product. I signed up and went to damn it. They're out of business. It was that big Circuit City. What was the one before Circuit City? Anyway, I went and bought one right off the showroom floor so that I could have it before. And by the time mine came in the mail, I had already hit the top of the pay plan. I had already gotten my check, and I was a believer, right? I mean, I was a believer, and I started to get into it, and I'm telling you, the lifestyle is absolutely one of the most unbelievably unhealthy. It's one of those things that it's cult-like. And the craziest crap of it is that I started out looking at this dude that was the Scientologist like he was the top of the cult. And I just wanted so badly to get to where that dude was. Like, he was making huge money, and he was selling tapes of himself doing trainings and all of these things. And I thought, man, I just want to be that. That's what I want to be. And when I got there, I realized that there was a whole crap load of people that were looking at me like I was the wacky cult leader that he was to me. You follow me? And the problem with that business is that you start out looking at these people and thinking that they're larger than life. And you find out that they're not, that most of it's just a scam, that no matter how much they're making, they're lying. They're telling you they're making 500 times more, right? It's just, hey, Ultra Maggot, good to see you. Don't do drugs, carry on. Solid. You got to love it. But the problem becomes that you really do end up cannibalizing family and friends. And, there were people that I used to sign up. I never asked them to do anything. It was usually because I was tricking a pay plan. I was one of those guys that would take a network marketing pay plan and lay it out on the table and go, how can we screw over the company? because if you're bringing in that many distributors, there's always a way to screw over the company. Like if the pay plan is maxed out 6 levels deep, I was in a network marketing company. I swear to you, it was a $695 sign up. And if you had 6 levels and you owned all of them, they got in at the bottom. They were paying out more than the entire thing cost. It was never supposed to happen. It couldn't happen. There was no way you were going to get 6 people in a row that were going to pull this off and do it within that 10-day period of time. It's impossible. And it is, unless you're going around the country and they're already putting people in the seats. It became really easy, to max out them. In fact, we did it in about 4 places. We probably had something to do with putting that company out of business, I'm sure. But it's an environment that's built completely on greed. And sadly, it answers to whatever you're lacking in life. What I mean by that is, for a lot of people, it's just social connection and setting up the parties and doing the things. They don't really care if they sell anything ever, right? They're never going to make a profit, and they don't care. It's really kind of just a social thing. And for those people, fantastic, right? That's awesome. However, absolutely, totally mortified and embarrassed to pitch this crap to family and friends. I mean, yeah. And it's been done with everything. And the really sad thing is this. The really sad thing is that about every 7 years, a new group of people come of age that have never heard of it, right? And they hear their first deal and they see a product and they go, man, this stuff's fantastic. You're telling me I can sell this? And it sounds amazing, right? Honestly, it does. And they're good at it, people. I promise you, if you can sell me, well, I mean, it's not hard to sell salesman. It really isn't. We dig the pitch, right? We really do. But it's an exciting proposition, and they know how to jazz it up. They really do. They know how to talk about the poor people out there, going to work 9 to 5. And really painting that picture. And the sad thing is, I dropped out of that rat race, that 9 to 5 rat race, so that I could get in and have my own business. And instead of, working that 40-hour-a-week rat race, I was working, 3 times that. I mean, we weren't even sleeping. We were working so hard, right? And without fail, they collapse. Right? If you want one that's going to stay in business, I would recommend that you get an Amway or you get an Avon. Now, to be really clear, when you get in ones that are really, really old, that's hard. Please, if you want to stick around afterwards, we'll get this set up so that we can hear this, because I want to see the paper. What are we talking? Is it an Australia 2-up? Is it a stair-step break? A binary. What are some of those other awful? I can't even believe I hear it now. Like today when I was doing research, I've been out of this for a long time. But it was so funny to me as I started to go back and read this. And I looked up the top 100 money earners in network marketing today. And I said to myself right at the start, I guarantee you I'm going to know half of this list, right? Because I did a bunch of stuff. I did not know one name on that list. Which means all of those massive big ballers that I knew that were making more money than you could wrap your brain around are not even in the top 100. And it doesn't take staggering money to be in the top 100. I was a little surprised at what the top 100 was too. But when I was doing it, the internet was so brand new, lies yet. You follow me? Like the internet has really, really cut through the BS in a big way for a lot of people. In fact, let's just for some laughs go over some network marketing statistics on network marketing that I think you might find interesting. Number 1. About 1 in 13 adults have been in a multi-level marketing company. That is not buying product from family. That is being the person pushing the product on family. ACN is still around today. Yes, it is. Number 2, there are about 6.2 million Americans actively involved in direct selling.
6.2 million Americans. Number 3, the MLM industry grossed $35.4 billion with a B in the last year that they ran numbers on this, which was 2018. Over 94% of the Direct Sellers Association members are all MLMers now. So it's just a term used now, right? It used to actually be people who directly sold to, it's not. Now everything, 94% of that entire thing is all MLM now. Number 5, wellness and cosmetics, personal care are the top selling categories. You'll see everything now. I mean, there are a lot of stuff associated with Bitcoin, with cryptocurrencies, a lot of crypto stuff, getting into the MLM things. It's crazy how much stuff, anything that you can tie into it, right? I'm shocked nobody's selling peppers MLM. I really am. 52% of MLM participants say the company's representations of making a profit is not too accurate or complete and utter BS. That's not what it said. What it said is, or not accurate at all. How come so many MLMs are out of Provo, Utah? That is a great question. And I'm going to give you a great answer. In the end, by the way, that is where I did most of my MLM stuff. Was in Provo, Utah. Or I was living in Salt Lake commuting, but did a bunch of stuff there. I'm going to finish up this list and then I'm going to answer that question because it is a good one. Number 7, at least 50% of all MLM participants bail within the first year, losing all their investment. Number 8, it costs an estimated $25,000 to open up a network marketing company. Now, I will tell you something. That was the only one on this list that I read and went, I have no idea where they came up with that. I really don't. The software that we bought for the network marketing company that I helped open was 3 times the price of that alone. And it wasn't something at the time that you can, maybe now you can rent everything. I don't know. Back then that wasn't an option. You had to have it kind of designed for your particular deal. 66% of MLM participants invest less than $1,000, and only 1 in 4 will ever make back their money. 1 in 4. So the vast majority of people obviously are not making anything, right? Much less a profit. Now, how come so many MLMs are out of Provo, Utah? Well, I'm going to do this. It's going to make me popular, but I'm going to do this. Okay, so here's my theory, and it works. Network marketing is a massive industry within the Mormon church. I have never seen there are so many Mormons in network marketing. It is incredible. There are so many network marketing companies that are based in Utah. It is incredible. My theory is this. We are one of the smallest countries in the world for network marketing. Believe it or not, we're not a very big. The Asian countries blow us away with how much money they spend on network marketing. They fill stadiums. When they open up a new MLM and they do it in an Asian country, they fill stadiums. Distributors bring 18-wheelers full of sign-up forms back in the day. Like, it was just insane. If you opened up a country, you were rich, right? You just had to be a distributor and to be set in that position. But overseas was huge. Well, the Mormon church does what? Right? It sends out missionaries on 2-year missions. They go knock on doors, right? I don't know if you've ever done that. I have, not as a missionary, but I've knocked on doors to sell things. It is a difficult thing to do. It takes a special kind of person to continue to go and knock on a door that gets slammed in your face 500 times a day. And to do that every day for 2 years. It really has built a network of people that went all over the world. And they're not just friends. Hell, you save their souls, right? You showed them salvation. So if you call them up and say, hey, have I got a deal for you? They tend to be very, very, very prolific network marketers. They're great recruiters. I got where I did, and I was very successful in network marketing because I was smack dab in the middle of network marketing central, and I could hunt big game, so to speak. You know, if I had a deal going that was making really good money, I could go after guys that I knew were killers, guys that were like me, basically, that I was going to sign that person up and that person was actually going to make me money, which never happened. I mean, they only make you money on the initial paycheck. But if you found one of these guys, they were going to go out and sign up, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 people. Well, that's a paycheck for me. 25, 30 bucks every time they sign someone up. That's ends up being really good money, you know, but it is absolutely cult-like in so many ways. And I did not realize it. I swear to you people, as stupid as this sounds, it never occurred to me when I was in the middle of it until I was talking to Johnny today. This did not occur to me. Yep. How about that pomegranate juice by the Osmonds? Was it pomegranate or did they do noni? I thought that might be part of the noni clan. Noni, Melaleuca, all of those drinks taste like, I've never tasted one that tasted good. I remember the first time I got pitched on noni, like I was into the whole MLM thing. Like I was always looking for the next deal. Sorry. So I said to this guy, yeah, pitch me on it. He's telling me the pay plan. I'm like, all right, not my favorite kind of pay plan, but you know, it was called a binary. So you have to balance how much business you do on one side versus the other. Monumental pain in the keister. But if you do balance them, if you get two that are working, you make a lot of money. So I told him I'd listen to the pitch, and I listened to the entire thing, and I got to the end and I'm like, I might be able to give it a shot. And I'm like, you got any of it here? He's like, yeah, I'll take some out. And he brings it out and he pours this little cup, and you only do like a shot glass of this stuff. And when I tell you that it tastes like battery acid, like this is really, really hard to get down. It is one of the most bitter. I mean, just like you look like the cartoons when Sylvester would take the alum and it would just suck his face in. Like I did this stuff and went, oh, you get people to buy this. I'm like, there's no way, dude. This is a practical joke. I'm looking around the room for the camera. You know what I mean? Like, this is a camera show. There's no way this company has gotten this big selling this garbage. Like, it tasted so bad. But it's supposed to come from this magic fruit that keeps people alive for forever. I'm not exactly sure how any of those people are faring because I'll tell you what, when I got out of that business, I got into a sleazier one, which is hard to imagine, but it's the truth. I remember a guy calling me and saying, have you ever heard of the reverse shell merger? And I said, I have not. And he said, well, it makes network marketing big shots look like preachers. And at that junction of my life, I thought that sounded like a pretty good thing, believe it or not. And I said, explain the scam. And he did. And it was just a much better scam. And at that point in my life, I didn't care about anybody other than, Mr. Heroin. MLMs are big in a lot of polygamous cults because if you are not a first wife, I'll be not giving you cash. They take the food and vouchers off you. You got mamas that are desperate to feed kids. That's terrible, Jess. It doesn't surprise me, but that's terrible. And I'm telling you that that is a very tight social knit community. So if like that, again, I said, I very rarely did I ever sign up anybody that ever made me any money, right? Ever. And it took forever. I worked with this one lady for a really long time before I finally got her to switch from what she was doing to come into the deal that I was doing. And he was a stone cold killer. I swear to you. Like if you get someone who's a really good marketer, someone who doesn't mind getting up in front of the room and doing that and all of that entails, right? Which is in a very big way, taking a good chunk of your conscience or your soul or both and leaving them at home when you go to work. Honestly, because you know in your heart of hearts that these people aren't going to make any money. You know in your heart of hearts that the only person making a paycheck in this thing is going to be you. But when this woman signed up, she scared the crap out of me. The women that do this and are good at it are so much better at it than the men. It's because they network in ways guys don't. As a rule of thumb, we don't keep Rolodexes full of all of our guy friends' names, I mean, I guess it's changed. When I did this really before the advent of the internet. I did in the internet days, I did one deal. And two? I don't think I did two. Oh, no. I said after. No, I'm talking about, no, I did 100 of them. But I mean, after I broke away and got away from it, I came back and did one. But I did it just to do what I'm doing like this. The guy said to me, I want you to just be my ad, just do ads for me, and I'll do the rest of it. I'll build you an organization, all that. I just want you to do you. He was just like flash ads and all that were just coming up, and I did his hook and and all that. I built a funnel for the guy, and we made some money. And I met some really weird people that I may, if I get really tired on a 24-hour live stream, I will tell you all about it. I'll tell you who it is now. I just won't tell you any stories. But it's a guy's name who you see on the net without it imploding on you. But he was a very controversial figure who lost a lawsuit for $1 billion. But he did a bunch of network marketing stuff to fund his business. And the last business deal I ever did in network marketing, he was actually a distributor in the same company. And we got to meet him. And he's actually so much weirder and more bizarre and rotten in real life. People, I'm ending this live stream. And do you know why? Because I have been offended for the last time. Now, yeah, no one's offended me. I'm ending this because in 5 minutes, we're firing up the next stream. We're doing Night Yard here tonight. It's going to be Q&A, prison talk. So, you didn't say that name, did you, Russ? Russ, you can say that name all you want. And yes, it was him. I got good stories. I can tell you some really, really funny stories. Tampa B, love you. Night Yard is up next, people. I'm just taking about a 7-minute break, right? So we can swip the tires out. This here is a cat in a basket. And if I know her, she will still be here after Night Yard. All right. We will see all of you, I hope, in about 7 minutes. I'm Captain Tommy. That was the cat in the basket. Have a good one. See you soon.